My family excluded me from Thanksgiving, claiming I could never help out or give anything. So I sent my regrets politely, said I understood completely, and stopped the $180,000 annual funding I'd been quietly covering for their house insurance and living expenses without them knowing. Before we dive in, please take a second to subscribe and tell us where you're watching from. It means more than you know. Now let's continue this story. The text came through at 10:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. I was reviewing quarterly reports when my phone buzzed. It was from my sister Maya. "Hey Tony, so about Thanksgiving this year. Mom and I talked and we think it's better if you sit this one out. You never really help with anything anyway, and honestly you just show up expecting to be fed. We need people who actually contribute." I read it 3 times. Each time the words felt like glass shards working deeper under my skin. 27 years of Thanksgivings. 27 years of being family. And this is what it came down to. My hands didn't shake. That's what surprised me most. I'd imagined if something like this ever happened, I'd be devastated, crying, calling immediately to fix it. Instead, I felt this strange, cold clarity settling over me like fresh snow. I thought about my nephew Jordan's college tuition I'd paid last semester. $14,000. "It's just hard times, Tony," my brother Isaac had said. "You know how it is." I thought about Mama's house, the 4-bedroom colonial she'd lived in for 15 years, the one with the mortgage I'd been covering since Daddy died, the insurance premiums, the property taxes, the new roof 3 years ago when that storm came through. I thought about Maya's car payment, Isaac's business loan I'd co-signed, my youngest sister Noelle's medical bills from when she didn't have insurance. Never help with anything. I set my phone down and laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. If you've ever been taken for granted by people you die for, you know this moment. That precise second when you realize you've been funding your own invisibility. Drop a comment below if you've felt this. I need to know I'm not alone. I couldn't sleep that night. Instead, I did what I do best. I pulled up spreadsheets. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't forget. Numbers don't claim you never helped. I went back 5 years. That's when Daddy died and everything fell on my shoulders. Everyone said I was the strong one. The one who had it together. Translation. The one who'd pick up the pieces while everyone else grieved in ways that didn't include paying bills. Year 1, $167,000. Mama's mortgage, property taxes, insurance. Isaac's failing restaurant venture. Maya's divorce lawyer because he was abusive. Tony, I need the best. Year 2, $182,000. Added Noelle's medical expenses. Jordan's first year of college. The family reunion I somehow ended up funding entirely because you make good money and we wanted to honor Daddy's memory properly. Year 3, $179,000. New roof. New HVAC system. Isaac's second business attempt. Maya's car. Year 4, $185,000. Jordan's sophomore year. Mama's medications. The cruise the whole family took to heal together. Except I couldn't go because of work. Year 5, up to now, $168,000 and counting. I sat back in my leather chair, my home office silent except for the hum of my computer. $881,000 over 5 years. Not once had anyone said thank you. Not once had anyone asked if I could afford it. Not once had anyone acknowledged it was happening. I'd set everything up through automatic payments, using a separate LLC I'd created, making it look like Daddy's life insurance or some trust fund. They never questioned where the money came from. They just spent it. Never help with anything. The sun was rising when I finally crafted my response. My fingers were steady. "Hi Maya. I completely understand. You're right, I should contribute more to earn my place. I respect your decision. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. I'll be fine." Professional. Polite. Perfect. Then I opened my banking app and started canceling transactions. The beauty of automated payments is how invisible they are. The tragedy of automated payments is how invisible they are. For 3 years, money had flowed from my accounts into various family obligations like oxygen through lungs. Constant, essential, unnoticed until it stops. I started with the house. Mama's mortgage payment was due in 5 days. I canceled the automatic transfer. Then the homeowner's insurance, premium due in 2 weeks. Canceled. Property taxes were quarterly. The next payment wasn't until January, but I set a reminder to ensure I did nothing. Isaac's car payment. Maya's credit card. Yes, I'd been paying her credit card for 18 months since her divorce. Just until I get back on my feet, she'd said. She'd been on vacation in Cancun last month based on her Instagram posts. Noelle's rent. She was 26, living in a luxury apartment downtown, working part-time at a boutique because she was finding herself. I'd been covering 60% of her rent for 2 years. Jordan's spring semester tuition payment was scheduled for January 15th. I canceled the scheduled transfer and removed him as a beneficiary from my education fund. The family cell phone plan. All 5 of them were on my business account. I called the provider. Yes, I need to remove 4 lines from my account effective end of billing cycle. May I ask why, Ms. Richardson? They never help with anything, I said and smiled at my reflection in the window. My accountant, David, called me the next morning. He'd received notifications about the canceled payments. I'd set up alerts for him to monitor the family expenses for tax purposes. Tony, what's going on? The family accounts. I'm done, David. Silence. Then, what happened? I've been disinvited from Thanksgiving for not contributing enough. More silence. Then something I didn't expect. Laughter. Hard, almost painful laughter. I'm sorry, he gasped. It's not funny. It's just... Tony, I've been your accountant for 8 years. I've watched you build an empire while funding an entire family who treats you like... I'm sorry. What do you need from me? Let me back up. You deserve to know how I got here. How I became the family's secret benefactor and official scapegoat. I'm the second oldest of 4 kids. Isaac is 2 years older than me, then Maya, then Noelle. Daddy was a postal worker. Mama cleaned houses until her knees gave out. We weren't poor, but we weren't comfortable. We were make-it-work people. I was always the weird one. While Isaac played basketball and dated half the neighborhood, I was taking extra math classes. While Maya was winning beauty pageants, I was entering science competitions. Noelle wasn't born yet, but she'd eventually become the baby everyone coddled. Why you always got your nose in them books? Daddy would ask, not mean, just curious. You trying to be white or something? I wasn't trying to be anything except out. Out of struggle. Out of living paycheck to paycheck. Out of watching Mama cry over bills at the kitchen table when she thought we were asleep. I got a full ride to an elite university. Studied computer engineering when everyone back home asked why I wasn't becoming a nurse or teacher. Something more appropriate. Built my first app junior year. Sold it for $700,000 senior year. Built 3 more before I turned 25. By 30, I'd founded Richardson Tech Solutions. We specialized in cybersecurity for healthcare systems. By 32, we were valued at $40 million. By 35, my current age, we'd just been acquired by a larger firm for a number I still can't say out loud without feeling dizzy. But I never told my family the full truth. They knew I did well. They knew I had a good job in computers. They didn't know I'd become wealthy. Genuinely, generationally wealthy. I kept it quiet because I saw what happened when Isaac got a small settlement from a car accident. $23,000. The whole family descended like vultures. Everyone with emergencies and investments and sure things. It was gone in 4 months. So I stayed quiet, dressed normal, drove a nice but not excessive car and lived carefully. Daddy died suddenly. Heart attack at 61, gone before the ambulance arrived. The funeral was on a Tuesday. I paid for everything, the casket, the program, the repast, the flowers. $28,000. Nobody asked where the money came from. They just cried and ate and told stories. The reading of the will was worse. Daddy left the house to Mama, $20,000 in savings split between the 4 of us, and a life insurance policy worth $50,000 also to Mama. But there was a problem. The house had a mortgage, $200,000 still owed. Mama couldn't afford the payments on Social Security alone. We sat in Mama's living room that night, all of us trying to figure it out. We could sell it, Isaac said. This is my home. Mama's voice cracked. Your daddy and I bought this house. You kids grew up here. Ma, we're just trying to be realistic, Maya said softer. I watched them talk in circles for an hour. Finally I spoke. What if the mortgage just got paid? They looked at me. Daddy had some investments I've been managing. I lied smoothly. Nothing huge, but enough to cover the house if we're smart about it. I can set it up so the payments come automatically. You won't have to worry about it. The relief in that room was palpable. They hugged me, called me a lifesaver, said Daddy would be proud. That was the first lie. The first payment from my own pocket disguised as Daddy's provision. I thought it would be temporary. Just until everyone got stable. That was 5 years ago. The thing about helping family is it's never just once. Isaac's restaurant failed 6 months later. $40,000 gone. Can Daddy's fund help with my fresh start? Maya's marriage collapsed. Her lawyer cost $35,000. Daddy would want me protected. Then Jordan wanted to go to college. Then Noel got sick. Then the roof. Then the car. Then. And I said yes every time because I loved them. Because they were grieving. Because I could afford it. Because I was afraid if I said no, I'd be the selfish one. The one who forgot where she came from. The one who thought she was better than her family. For 3 days after I sent my polite response to Maya, I heard nothing. Not from her, not from Isaac, not from Noel, not from Mama. I went to work, led meetings, closed a major contract, lived my life. The silence was supposed to bother me. Instead it felt like pressure releasing. On day 4 Mama called. I was in my car heading home from a site visit. I almost didn't answer. But 35 years of conditioning made my thumb hit the green button. Baby. Just that one word, but loaded with everything. Disappointment. Manipulation. Maternal authority. Hey Mama. Maya told me what she said to you. About Thanksgiving. I waited. The old me would have rushed to smooth it over, to apologize for being hurt. The new me, the one who'd spent 3 nights sleeping peacefully for the first time in years, just drove and waited. She was upset, Tony. You know how your sister gets. She didn't mean it like it sounded. How did she mean it then? Well, Mama paused. You know you're always welcome here, baby. This is still your family. But, you have to understand. From where we're sitting, it does seem like you just show up sometimes. You're always busy with work. You miss things. Maya's been the one organizing everything, cooking, cleaning. Mama. My voice came out harder than I intended. Do you know how much your mortgage payment is? Silence. Do you know how much your homeowner's insurance costs? Your property taxes. Daddy's investments. There are no investments, Mama. There never were. I could hear her breathing change. The mortgage, the insurance, the taxes, the new roof, the HVAC system, Isaac's businesses, Maya's divorce, Noel's rent, Jordan's college. All of it. Every single dollar. That's been me for 5 years. What are you talking about? And there was the genuine confusion. She really didn't know. None of them did. I'd been so careful, so quiet, so determined not to make them feel indebted. $180,000 a year, Mama. On average. For 5 years. That's what I've contributed. While apparently never helping with anything. The line was so quiet I checked to see if the call had dropped. Tony, that can't be right. Where would you even get? I own a company, Mama. A successful one. I've tried to tell you, but you never asked. None of you asked. You just assumed I had a regular job and somehow Daddy left enough money to cover everything. Why wouldn't you tell us? This was the question I'd been asking myself for 3 days. Why had I hidden it? Why had I let them think I was just moderately successful instead of wealthy? And the answer when I finally faced it was ugly. Because I was afraid you'd only love me for what I could give you. And then Maya sent that text and I realized you didn't love me anyway. Or at least you didn't value me. I could disappear tomorrow, and as long as the bills got paid, none of you would even notice I was gone. That's not fair, Tony. Isn't it? When's the last time you called me just to talk? Not about a problem or money or something you needed, but just to ask how I was doing. Silence. When's the last time any of you came to my house? I've hosted exactly twice in 5 years. 4 people came the first time. 3 the second I stopped trying. Meanwhile, I'm expected at every family function, every barbecue, every birthday, and if I can't make it because of work that funds your entire lifestyle, I'm the absent one. The one who thinks she's too good for family. We never asked you to pay for anything. You never had to ask. That's the whole point. I volunteered because I love you, because I wanted to help, because family takes care of family. But apparently that only goes one direction. I was yelling now, my careful composure cracking. I pulled over into a parking lot, hands shaking on the wheel. I canceled everything, Mama. The mortgage payment that's due next week? Not coming. The insurance? Canceled. All of it. You can't do that. This is my home. And it's your responsibility. It always was. Isaac called an emergency family meeting. Of course he did. They gathered at Mama's house on Saturday morning. Everyone except me. I wasn't invited. Maya sent a group text about it, forgot to remove me from the thread, then sent another message. Tony, ignore that. This doesn't concern you. But Jordan, sweet, confused Jordan, called me. Aunt Tony? What's going on? Mom's freaking out. Grandma's crying. Uncle Isaac keeps saying you've lost your mind. Did you really pay for my college? He was 19. A sophomore studying biology. Good kid. Smart. I'd been proud to help him. Yeah, baby. I did. Why didn't you tell me? I could have worked more, gotten more loans. Because you're family and you deserved a shot without drowning in debt. But Jordan, I need you to understand something. That money, all the help I've been giving everyone. Your mom just told me I never contribute to this family. She uninvited me from Thanksgiving because I just show up expecting to be fed. That's crazy. You literally paid for. He stopped. Wait. Does Mom not know? None of them knew. I kept it quiet because I didn't want it to be weird. I just wanted to help. Aunt Tony, they're talking about the house. Grandma got a notice that the mortgage payment is overdue. And Uncle Isaac said his car's about to be repossessed. What's happening? I stopped paying for things, Jordan. I'm done being invisible. The family meeting, from what Jordan told me later, was chaos. Mama had brought bank statements showing 5 years of mysterious payments from something called Richardson Estate Holdings, the LLC I'd created. Isaac had finally put together that his business loan from what he thought was a community development fund was actually from me. Maya discovered that her credit card, the one she thought was from her divorce settlement, had my name as the primary account holder. Noel apparently just cried. She'd had no idea her rent wasn't coming from the roommate assistance program she thought she'd qualified for. They called me together. Speakerphone. An ambush. Tony, we need to talk about this situation. Always the leader. Okay. You can't just cut everyone off without warning. People have bills. Responsibilities. I agree. That's why you all should probably figure out how to handle them. Maya's voice cut through. This is financial abuse, Tony. You made us dependent on you and now you're weaponizing it. Actually laughed. Financial abuse? I've been secretly paying your bills for years, asking nothing in return, and when you insult me and exclude me from the family I stop, and that's abuse? Do you hear yourself? You should have told us. This was Noelle, her voice small. How were we supposed to know to be grateful if we didn't even know you were helping? Here's a thought. Maybe be grateful to the sister who shows up, who's present, whose family regardless of money. Maybe don't tell her she never helps with anything, when she's been carrying the entire family financially for half a decade. We didn't ask you to do that, Isaac said. You're right. You didn't ask. You just accepted it. Every time something got paid mysteriously, you just took it as a blessing and moved on. Not once did any of you question it. Not once did you think maybe someone was sacrificing for you. Sacrifice. Maya's voice dripped with sarcasm. You're rich, Tony. Don't act like this money means anything to you. There was. The thing I'd been afraid of my whole life finally said out loud. You want to know why I never told you about my money? That right there. Because to you my success isn't something to be proud of. It's something you're entitled to. And the second I stop giving, I'm the villain. So what now? Isaac asked. You're just going to let Mama lose her house? Let your nephew drop out of school? Destroy this family because your feelings got hurt. My feelings got hurt? I was standing now pacing my living room. You excluded me from Thanksgiving. You told me I don't contribute. And now you're mad that I took you at your word. We're family, Tony. You don't just abandon family. Funny. That's exactly what you did to me. The difference is I was actually contributing. Mama's voice, small and broken. Baby, please. Can we just talk in person? Work this out. I'm done talking. You all made your position clear. I was never going to be enough unless I was useful. Well, now I'm not useful. So I guess I'm not family either. I hung up. The next 2 weeks were carnage. Mama received a foreclosure warning. Missed 3 payments and the process begins. She called me sobbing, then angry, then begging. I blocked her number after the 5th call in one day. Isaac's car was repossessed on a Tuesday morning outside his job. He posted about it on Facebook, some vague thing about betrayal from those you love most. His friends rallied, calling me every name imaginable in the comments. I didn't respond. Maya's credit card was declined at a restaurant. She called me from the bathroom hissing, "You're embarrassing me. You're making me look poor." "You are poor," I said calmly. "You've been poor. You've been living on my money and pretending it was yours. That's not my problem anymore." Jordan called crying. The bursar's office had informed him that his spring semester payment hadn't been received. He'd have to withdraw unless he could come up with $18,000 in 2 weeks. "I'm sorry, Jordan. I really am. But I can't keep doing this. Why are you punishing me? I didn't uninvite you to Thanksgiving. I didn't say you never help. This isn't fair." He was right. It wasn't fair. But life isn't fair, and I was tired of being the only one who had to be understanding. Noelle lost her apartment. She moved back in with Mama, 3 adults in a house that might not be theirs much longer, all of them furious at me. The family group chat, the one I was still somehow in, became a war zone. "Maya, you know what? We're better off without you. We'll figure it out like we always do." "Isaac, can't believe we're related to someone so cold. Daddy would be ashamed." That one hurt. I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed, "Daddy would be ashamed that his children think love is measured in dollars. That they threw away a sister over Thanksgiving turkey. That they can't even see how toxic you've all become." I left the group chat. But the story was far from over, and the real revelations were still coming. Have you ever had to choose between your peace and your family? Let me know in the comments. It was David, my accountant, who uncovered what happened next. He called me 3 weeks after I'd cut everyone off. "Tony, I need you to sit down." I was already sitting, but his tone made me grip my chair. "I've been doing some digging, just routine financial review stuff. And I found something. About 18 months ago your sister Maya took out a loan. A big one. $250,000. Okay? Why do I care? She used your mother's house as collateral. And Tony, she listed you as a co-signer." The room tilted. "That's impossible. I never signed anything. The signature is digital, but it's verified through an LLC. Richardson Estate Holdings. Maya. The one I'd used to anonymously pay their bills. She forged my signature? Worse. I think she's been accessing the LLC somehow. I found other transactions. Money being moved into personal accounts. Tony, I think your family has been stealing from you on top of everything you've been giving them." I couldn't breathe. "How much?" "Over the 18 months. Roughly $400,000. I'd been funding their lives with nearly $2 million over 5 years, and they'd been stealing another $400,000. While telling me I never helped. The investigation took 2 weeks. David brought in a forensic accountant. What we found was staggering. Maya had somehow gotten access to the LLC paperwork, probably from my home office during one of the rare times she'd visited. She'd set up online banking access, created authorized user profiles, and had been systematically moving money into accounts she'd opened in various family members' names. Isaac's business loans that kept failing? He'd been getting money from me legitimately and stealing from the LLC, double-dipping while his businesses never existed. Noelle's medical bills I'd paid? Half of them were fake. She'd been pocketing the money. Even Jordan, sweet Jordan, had been taking money his mother funneled to him, money he knew wasn't from scholarships. The only one who seemed genuinely ignorant was Mama, and even that I wasn't sure about anymore. I didn't call them. I showed up at Thanksgiving. The one I'd been uninvited from. I walked into Mama's house at 2 p.m. with a police officer and my lawyer. The look on their faces was almost worth the betrayal. Almost. Tony. Mama stood up from the couch, confused. What's going on? I'm here to inform you all that I'm pressing charges for fraud, identity theft, and embezzlement. Detective Morrison here will be taking statements. My lawyer, Ms. Howard, will be handling the civil suit. You can't be serious. Isaac stood face red. Over money? You're going to send your family to jail over money? Not over money. Over theft. Over lies. Over taking advantage of someone who loved you. Over making me feel worthless while you robbed me blind. Maya went pale. He knew. She knew exactly what was coming. I don't know what you're talking about, she whispered. Richardson Estate Holdings. Ring a bell? The $400,000 you've stolen over 18 months? The forged signatures? The fake medical bills? All of it. Noel started crying. Jordan wouldn't meet my eyes. Isaac looked at Maya with dawning horror. He hadn't known the extent of what she'd done. I gave you everything, I said, my voice breaking despite my determination to stay strong. I paid for this house. Your cars. Your lives. Your dreams. I asked for nothing except to be family. And you couldn't even give me that. You couldn't even respect me enough to be honest. Tony, baby, please. Mama reached for me. Did you know? I stepped back. Did you know what they were doing? The hesitation told me everything. You knew. I didn't know all of it. Just, Maya said you had so much money and we needed help and you let her steal from me. You let them all steal from me. While telling me I never contributed. I turned to the detective. I want to press full charges against Maya Richardson, Isaac Richardson, and Noel Richardson. I'm still deciding about Jordan. The room erupted. Screaming, crying accusations. But I was already walking out. My lawyer stayed to handle the details. I'd said what I needed to say. Outside in my car I finally broke down. Great heaving sobs that shook my whole body. Because even though they deserved everything coming to them, they were still my family. And I'd still loved them. And that love had almost destroyed me. 6 months later, I'm in a different city. New house. New life. The legal proceedings are ongoing. Maya faces the most serious charges, but they're all entangled in it now. Mama's house was foreclosed. She's living with a cousin, won't speak to me. Isaac filed for bankruptcy. Noel got probation and mandatory counseling. Jordan dropped out of school working 2 jobs to survive. He sent me a letter apologizing, saying he didn't know how deep it went. I haven't responded. I might never. I started therapy. Turns out, being the strong one, the provider, the invisible benefactor, it messed me up more than I realized. My therapist says I confused love with utility, that I let them make me believe my only value was what I could give. He's right. I've started a foundation. 4 first-generation college students in STEM fields. Fully funded scholarships, no strings attached. I'm helping people who want help, who appreciate it, who won't use me and discard me. Sometimes I think about that Thanksgiving text. How such a small thing unraveled everything. But it wasn't small, was it? It was the culmination of years of being taken for granted, of giving until I was empty, of loving people who saw me as an ATM with a heartbeat. I don't regret pressing charges. I don't regret walking away. But I grieve. I grieve the family I thought I had. I grieve the relationships that were built on lies. I grieve the love that was never really there. The other day I had Thanksgiving with friends, real friends who love me for me. We cooked together, laughed, shared what we were grateful for. When it was my turn, I said, I'm grateful I finally learned that family isn't about blood. It's about respect, honesty, and showing up, not just when it's convenient or profitable, but always. They didn't understand the weight of that statement. But I did. To everyone watching this, if you're the giver in your family, the one everyone leans on but no one sees, know this. You are valuable beyond what you provide. Your worth isn't measured in dollars or sacrifices. And walking away from people who can't see that isn't selfish. It's survival. Set boundaries. Protect your peace. And remember, the people who truly love you will never make you feel worthless for having limits. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling me about your experience. I read every single one. And remember, you deserve better than crumbs from people you've been feeding. I'm still healing. Some days are harder than others. But I'm free. And that freedom, painful as it was to claim, is worth everything I lost. Because I didn't lose family. I lost people who were using me. And now I'm finally learning what real family, chosen, honest, genuine family, actually feels like. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And if you're in a similar situation, please, save yourself before there's nothing left to save.